Welcome to Campbell's Coins. Today I'm going to talk about Cull coins. God, I really hate that word. Cull. Ugh. It's one of those words that perfectly matches the action. What are Cull coins? How are they different from BU coins? Should you buy them? And of course, my 2 cents on this whole topic. I discuss all this and more coming up. What are Cull coins? The definition of Cull is to remove rejected members. But in terms of coins, Cull is a variety of things because as coin collectors or stackers, we don't always remove these coins. They are just purchased at a discount. Cull mostly refers to a damaged coin or really undesirable coin, but it could also be a worn down coin like I have right here. To coin dealers, coins with a Cull designation are considered to be in overall poor condition and generally would not be of any interest to collectors. I mention this because online dealers will sell Cull coins within batches of quote-unquote circulated coins that are in rolls or bags. These are the ones that are on sale typically, and these culls are just really worn down. The damaged Cull coins that are, they got someone's initials, scratched into them, those are sold separately. It's important to know this ahead of time of making a purchase because if you purchase a roll or a bag of circulated coins, expect them to be heavily circulated. And why does that affect you? Because if you're buying heavily circulated coins, there's going to be less silver weight in those coins. Just as an example here, I have 8 BU silver quarters right here. I have 8 Cull silver quarters here. They're both 8, but why is one stack shorter? Because the circulation really wears down the rims and the silver content within the quarter. So if you're buying let's say $10 roll of quarters, the Cull quarters are going to weigh less, but you're still paying the same amount. It's going to affect you because the roll of Cull quarters is going to weigh less, and then it might not even cost that much more to get XF coins or AU coins or even BU coins. So really take a hard look at all the descriptions that you're buying from, because you don't want to get stuck with buying a whole bunch of Cull coins when you can pay a few bucks more and get more silver content. The term doesn't pertain specifically to silver coins, but it is used predominantly when discussing damaged or worn silver coins. I've seen it used for copper coins like pennies, but one almost never sees the term used for a damaged gold coin. I would actually use never in this instance, but never say never, am I right? Very interesting and unfair bias with gold coins compared to silver coins within the coin collecting / stacker community. This term doesn't apply to just old coins either. Modern silver coins that sustain damage are included into the Cull category, but more on that later. People are usually interested in buying Cull coins for a variety of reasons. The first, it's cheaper than a higher grade version. This is good for stackers who want cheap silver. Second, this is also great for collectors who want a key date coin but don't want to pay the key date price. Cull versions allow all of this. In a low silver demand period, the pricing isn't that much different from common date BU coins, and it really doesn't make sense to stack Cull coins during a low demand period. However, in a high silver demand period, the price on common date BUs surge, but the Cull versions don't rise that much. So the Culls are a better buy strictly in terms of pricing when the demand for silver rises. If you're a collector, the pricing on Cull coins will always be greatly cheaper as numismatic coins aren't tied much to the spot price or low silver demand. The silver weight in a Cull coin will differ from the BU version. We know that BU coins have 100% or just slightly less their original weight. For instance, the BU Morgan should weigh 26.73 grams. Let's go to the weight. I've got this little weight here, this little scale. Okay, so I have a BU Morgan right here, and then I have a few worn down versions right here. I'm going to go ahead and weigh these and you can see the difference in weight. So the BU comes out to 26.65 grams, slightly under what the coin should weigh, just slightly. Now this 1879 still has a good amount of weight retention. It's just very, very slick. 25.87 grams. So the difference in weight is almost an entire gram between just those two. Granted, my quote-unquote Cull version of my Morgan is not extremely worn. There is way, way worse, and I'll show you in just a second. The problem with Cull coins is the weight can vary greatly. They could be damaged, have like a lot of scratches in them, like this 1900 Morgan. You kind of see there's somebody's initials in them. It still has a good amount of weight to it. It's not that circulated. It's a trashy coin. It's damaged, but it still has a good amount of weight to it. This one is just slick. So a Cull coin varies in huge ranges of weight. It could be the weight that the coin should be, or it could be a ton less. So going back to my quarters, I have 8 BU quarters, silver quarters, and then I have 8 Cull or very worn down silver quarters. And we're going to check the differences in weight between those. Okay, so I'm going to grab my 8 BU quarters. .21 grams. And 8 very worn down quarters. And I'll show some of these off in just a second. .64. So you can see how, you know, just a few grams here and there is not a big deal. But if you are stacking a lot of Cull Cull coins, you're going to find that that weight really adds up in the end. Most of the coins that you're going to see with this Cull designation are going to be barbers. And you can see how thin that looks. It's very, very smooth. You can barely feel any of the design. But you're going to see a lot of these sold. Sometimes those have a premium on them too. The Standing Liberty quarters, very worn. And the same thing goes for dimes. You're going to see dimes like that. You're going to see the half dollars. Franklin's are going to be pretty good. Kennedy's are going to be mostly excellent. You're rarely going to see any Cull versions of those. But Walking Liberties and Barbers, you're going to see a lot of Cull versions of those just because those were the workhorses for the economy. People were paying 50 cents for groceries. They weren't paying like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So those are being used up a lot. Think of movies back then. Movies were a nickel or a dime to get in. So that's why you see a lot of nickels and dimes with a lot of wear on them. Things also cost a lot cheaper back then. So they were using change a lot more than we are probably using today. Okay, so I want to turn your attention towards JM Bullion's website, just so you kind of get an idea of what the Cull coins are, the BU coins. So this image of Cull, this is what they have for the Morgan silver dollar. That's really beat up. You have You can barely make out any facial features. The entire rim is worn down where you can't see any of it. I mean, this would be a prime example of what a Cull coin is. Not all Cull coins are like this, but major online dealers are going to give you this as like a Cull coin. But I wanted to do like a purchase exercise with you for a quick second. So let's say you purchased 10 of these Cull Morgan silver dollars at 26.82 piece. And I'm not going into taxes or any of that. So it's just straight buying 10. What do we have? $268.20. Okay, great. Now let's look at the BU version. Obviously a lot better. You can see the whole entire rim, and that's a lot of silver missing. You can see the eagle on the back. There's a huge difference between the two coins. The luster is gone on here. You can barely make out any of the eagle's feathers. Thankfully you can still make out the mint mark on this one, and especially the date, but most of it is really worn off or damaged or both. On the BU version, you don't have that. You're going to have bag marks. You're going to have little dings and dents that doesn't come from circulation, but most of this quote-unquote scratches that you see, those are bag marks. So if you look at the price here, it's $47.05 for one of the BU version. If you were to take 268.2, which is what we paid for 10 Cull Morgans, and divide it by 47.0, well, sorry about that, 0.05, you get 5.7. So for buying 10 Cull Morgans, you can buy 5.7 BU Morgans. Are you losing that much silver content between the BUs and the Culls to make up this 5 Morgan difference? I don't think so. Unless these Morgans have just a huge amount of silver missing, I just don't see it. Even if it was, let's say it was 20 grams for the Cull Morgans, okay, times that by 10. You have 200 grams of silver, quote unquote, for these, okay? And by the way, 20 grams is very worn. I don't think you'd ever find a coin, a Morgan especially, that is just 20 grams. I mean, it'd have to be extremely smooth, almost paper thin. Just, it would not exist really. So we have 200 grams, and this is just an exercise. So if we took 5.7 times it by 26 point, let's just go with 7. Because I would say that's about an average for BU. You have 152.19 grams. If you were looking at this from a purely stacking perspective, you are getting 47.81 grams more silver buying the Cull versions than you are buying the BU. And you're paying the same amount. So you're technically getting more silver. And that is if we're using 20 grams as the weight for the Culls, which I doubt that it would get that low. I'm betting they're going to be more like 24. So if you did 24 times 10, you'd have 240. So you almost have 100 grams more silver stacking Cull coins, well, I mean specifically to the Morgans, than you do the BUs. And you're paying the same amount. So from a stacking perspective, you're getting more silver in the end. I think that kind of answers should you buy Cull coins. You should do what you want to do, but here's my 2 cents. I actually started this topic with a bias against Culls. But after thinking it over from a purely stacking silver standpoint, it's not terrible. Culls are a great way for a person on a limited budget to stack silver. As I've mentioned before, it is also a great way to get a key date coin for a much cheaper price. Are they a good investment? Should you buy them? If you're buying key date Cull coins, it's not a terrible investment because those seem to hold their value. What I will say against Cull coins is that they are extremely ugly very worn down, and you won't have a huge demand for them if you go to sell. People are not lining up to buy Cull coins. They're buying them because they are cheap, and maybe that's what they can afford at the time. And if that's the case for you, good for you. Keep on stacking. Do what is best for you. Do what's best for your family. But I would buy Cull coins that still have a good amount of weight to them, as long as it's at the Cull price level. There are also modern silver coins that are considered culls. All modern silver produced today doesn't see circulation, so it's a cull because it's been damaged in some way that makes it unsellable as a BU coin. These coins being ASEs, maple leafs, virtually any silver coin out there. These are discounted over their BU counterparts, and sometimes they're discounted heavily. I remember before the large silver demand happened, Cull ASEs could be purchased for next to spot, and they didn't really look too bad either. Unless someone put enamel on them, then it looked like garbage. Cull modern silver is an excellent buy, and I cannot stress that enough. You are getting what everyone is paying for, this high premium, but you're paying a lot less. I'm seeing Cull silver dollars right now. I'm seeing other like maple leaves, libertads. I'm seeing those for $2 over spot. They are hard to find though. You are not seeing them popping up all over the place, and that's because people know that they are a good buy. Older Cull coins, that's something you have to decide for yourself if it's a good route to go. As I demonstrated, you're getting more silver in the end, and you're paying the same rate, but do you really like what you're stacking? Personally, for me, this was a hard topic to do. I didn't have too many Cull coins to pull up because I like nice looking coins. I like to look at my coins. I like that shimmer. I like that flash. I like that blast white. Nothing, it doesn't do anything for me when it looks like this or like this. And I only bought those because they were such a good deal that I could not pass them up. What do you think of Cull coins? I know that there's a few people asking for me to do a video on this topic, and honestly, it was already in the works, and I was just like, oh, well, that's weird. It's going to be coming out very soon. But let me know. Put it down in the freaking comments below. Do you stack Cull coins? I'd like to hear from you. Your comments help me make better videos, and they help others. Thank you all so much for watching. This is Campbell's Coins, and that is my 2 cents.